So today we'll be talking about one of the very prominent topics which comes into your mind whenever we go for any placement processes, and one of the very important topics in terms of mentoring and professional development, which is group discussion. Of course, as everyone knows that group discussion plays a very prominent part in terms of placement processes, and also it is very important when it comes to choosing a person to be a part of any multinational company. Right? So whenever we go for any interview process, one of the first parameters or one of the first rounds for the interview is referred to as group discussions. So the very first round they take is of GDs, right? That is referred to group discussion. Very commonly known thing. Now let's begin with the topic about group discussions. So today in group discussions we'll be discussing about what actually a group discussion is all about, what is the definition of a GD, characteristics of a group discussion, its prerequisites, benefits of a GD, why companies have GD, why do they always consider group discussions as a very prominent part in terms of placement, how you have to prepare for group discussions, how a group discussion is assessed, discussion etiquettes, points to remember in a group discussion, that means the do's of a GD as well as the don'ts of a group discussion, and what kind of suggestions and what kind of body language people should have whenever they're participating in a GD. Yes, the first and the prominent thing before beginning anything, we have to talk about the definition. So what actually a group discussion? In a layman term, group discussion means whenever a topic is given to you, you have to speak on a particular topic for a particular span of time, right? So here group discussion is a noble way to assess a person's personality. It is a technique and basically an art to judge the capacity of a person for the aptness of a particular job. In a GD, discussion means exchange of ideas, exchange of information, exchange of thoughts, right? So, the group of people who are present in a GD or a group of people who are there in a group discussion, they have to exchange their ideas and their thoughts, and they have to communicate whatever they think related to the particular topic in front of the list of judges or in front of the panelists. The group discussion, how many members will be there in a group discussion? One of the very prominently asked questions. So there could be 5 members minimum, maximum it could go up to 12 to 15 members for a group discussion. In ideal cases, we have 12 members in a group discussion. And in a group discussion, what are the skills which are being judged? See, a lot of parameters, a lot of skills are being judged when it comes to a GD. Especially, they'll be judging students on the skills which are related to their knowledge about the particular topic, the level of confidence, how they express their views, and of course, the communication skills and fluency when it comes to speaking about a particular topic. Prerequisites of a group discussion. Whenever a student is going for any group discussion, one very important thing or a prerequisite I would like to add is that a person should be very prepared. Planning is very important before you enter into any sort of group discussion. Even though you have very good communication skills or you're very confident as a person, but planning before entering into a group discussion is very important. So now let's see what are the prerequisites of a group discussion. Beginning with number 1. Topics are always given by the panelists, and majority of the times the topic is given on the spot. So you will not have time to prepare a lot about the topic before it begins. So the topics are given by panelists on the spot. So you should be very prompt to impromptu feedback or impromptu outlook should be there. So a person should be able to easily analyze what kind of topic is given. Next is planning and preparation. As soon as the topic is given to you in the group discussion, one's mind should be very clear upon jotting down points. Either have a pen or paper, jot down the important points for the statement, against the statement, about the statement, right? Or in your mind, you can recapitulate the points which you want to put forth whenever you are going with the group discussion. Knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Any sort of topic can be given to you. It could be knowledge based, it could be an abstract topic, it could be a case study based topic, it could be a controversial topic. So knowledge is very important about a particular topic. With knowledge is always accompanied with self-confidence. So one should be very much confident whenever you are expressing your views in terms of a group discussion. Next, communication. Communication is the key factor. As I've already discussed earlier, communication is a very important factor whenever you are going for any group discussion. The way you communicate your ideas, the way you represent your ideas in front of the panelists is very, very important and must. Part of speech is very, very important. There should be voice modulation. Students should be able to understand where they have to modulate their voice and when they have to modulate their voice. About fluency, fluency is a must point. Fluent a person should be whenever you are a part of a group discussion. You should not take pauses. You should not take much time when you are thinking, right? So this is very, very important. Next comes the presentation. Presentation here debates that how you are presenting yourself, the way I am being presenting myself in front of the panelists, right? So your body language should be appropriate. You must be able to present yourself in a way where you look very much formal. Next one here is your body language and personal appearance. Body language, again, as I've already discussed, is a very, very prominent part. You should look confident internally as well as externally. If you're confident from mind, you should be confident from your body language as well. So whenever you are presenting yourself in a group discussion, your body language plays a key role. One should be confident, one should be sitting straight on the chairs with your back straight, one should not slouch on the chairs. Ideally, what students do is they tend to slouch on the chair, they tend to rotate their chairs. So that is very, very abnormal and that is considered as a negative feedback. So a person should be very much straight whenever they are presenting their ideas. And the prominent and the last point is stay very calm and cool. Calmness is the key. Confidence will always be multiplied if you are very, very calm in terms of representing or expressing your idea. So these are the prerequisites which are required during the group discussions. Moving on to the next slide, we will talk about the benefits. A very frequently asked questions, many of the students want to know that why a group discussion, what are the benefits? See, group discussion means you're discussing on a topic, right? You are explaining your views, you are sharing your ideas with people. So it will obviously help in better understanding of a subject, better understanding of any subject. Whenever we will discuss our ideas, we will come to know other people's opinion also. So as the result, we can basically have a better understanding of the topic. Next thing, it stimulates critical thinking. Your critical thinking will be enhanced. You will be able to think in all the directions. Your horizons will be widened in terms of your thinking capabilities. Next comes in, it helps you make decisions consensuously. So you can be able to take your decisions. You will be speaking for the statement, you will be speaking against the statement, or you will have what kind of a viewpoint, what should be your counterpoints, right? So these are the benefits. Next comes improvement of skills. When it comes to improvement of skills, we have listening skills and speaking skills. See, when you are a part of a group discussion, of course you have to speak out your ideas. So of course your speaking skills will be at par, it will increase. But in a group discussion, prior importance is to listening skills also. Why? Because if you'll be listening to other people, only then you'll be able to understand it in a better way. So listening skills are also enhanced side by side, of speaking skills are also at a good level. Next, it increases your confidence. A person's confidence is increased whenever a person participates in a group discussion because you are expressing your ideas in a language which is not your household language, right? So this is a language which is an international language. So whenever you are expressing your ideas in English, somewhere or the other it is increasing your confidence. Next, it comes to you are able to understand your strengths and weaknesses. If I'll be a part of a group discussion, I'll be talking on a particular topic, I'll be able to know that what are my strengths when it comes to speaking, what are my strengths when it comes to expressing ideas, what could be my weaknesses, right? So a person can work on both. Strengths could be enhanced and weaknesses could be overcome. Next is it improves your leadership skills. See, in a group discussion, you don't have to only manage yourself, sometimes you have to manage the entire group. So ultimately, it helps in enhancement of your leadership skills. So leadership skills are also increased. Next, from companies, why do they conduct group discussions? See, for companies, group discussion is one of the very, very important parameters for any placement process. So whenever you sit for any placement for any company, the first one you will have to face is a group discussion, right? So here, why companies are going for group discussions? First of all, they want to check you on your interactive skills. They want to check how interactive skills you have, what kind of interactions you can have with people. Next point is your ability to work in a team. In a group, you have to work in accordance with the people in the group, right? So as the result, you are able to highlight your team building capacities. So your team building efficiency can also be observed. Next comes is flexibility. Flexibility is very, very important. Flexibility of thoughts. Flexibility of thoughts is very, very important. You should not be rigid or orthodox when it comes to your ideas. Rather, try to be very, very flexible whenever you are taking ideas from other people or you are intercepting ideas from the other end. Next is extrovertism. Being a part of a GD, whenever you are in a GD, you will learn to speak. As a result, you will be able to interact with a lot of people. Somewhere or the other, you could be judged on your level of being an extrovert, which is of course a very, very good quality. Next is leadership. Your leadership skills can be easily judged. How good a leader you are, how much controlling powers you have, are you a controlling person, are you able to manage a group, right? So these kind of skills are also judged in a group discussion. Next, your analytical skills and subjective knowledge, knowledge of the subject. How do you analyze a particular problem? How do you solve a particular problem? On the other hand, your subject knowledge. Whatever the topic is given to you, you have to speak on that particular topic. Somewhere or the other, it is enhancing your subject knowledge. Next is problem solving and critical thinking. As already discussed in one of the previous slides, problem thinking capacity. Being a leader, how you are able to solve some problems. Suppose they give you a case study. They give you a problem to find out the solution of it, right? So how analytically you are solving the problem is also judged. Last but not the least is your attitude and confidence, which is always the key to success. So if you are very confident, it will be shown when you are going for a group discussion or whenever you are doing a GP. Next, how to prepare for the GP. See, preparation is very, very important. So there are three basic concepts of preparation. Number one, group speaking preparation. So speaking is very, very important, how you have to speak when you are in a group. Next is the preparation of the content. They will give you the content 2 or 5 minutes prior to the discussion. So preparation at a faster rate is very, very important of the content. Next comes is listening. Listening preparation is very, very important. I always say speaking and listening go hand in hand. So if you are a good speaker, you need to be a good listener as well. If you want people to listen when you are speaking, similar is the case. When others are speaking, you have to be a very, very good listener. Plus, being a good listener, you can also learn a lot from others. You can intercept other people's ideas as well. Next, how to prepare for GD. First thing, let's go on an elaborative part. Group speaking preparation. So how you have to speak. See, enhance your vocabulary. Enhance your vocabulary first of all to enhance your fluency. You should have a good set of vocabulary. You should have a good set of words. If your vocabulary will be good, of course you will gather some confidence and your fluency somewhere or the other will be enhanced. What happens is people are sometimes thinking while speaking, as the result the fluency is interrupted. Right? Then please try and practice tone modulation. Modulation of the voice is very, very important. Whenever you are speaking, you should know the highs and lows while you are speaking. If you have to emphasize somewhere, if you have to let go some words, right? So the voice modulation is of utmost importance, and if you think you have a little lesser confidence, please try to speak in front of the mirror. It will really help you in terms of preparations for speaking in a group discussion. The next point comes is content preparation. See, when you are going for any group discussion, specifically controversial GD or in terms of a knowledge-based GD, you should have somewhere some information about current affairs. They can ask you some questions which are related to the current affairs, general knowledge, self-awareness, general awareness. So people should have perspectives about political scenarios, social scenarios, economical scenarios. So somewhere or the other, content preparation is very, very important. At least have some general knowledge and awareness whenever you're sitting for any group discussion. Moving on to listening preparation. Listening is very, very important. Always be an active observer. Always be an active listener. Why? It will help you to learn more from people. Sometimes you might like somebody else's way of speaking, somebody else's way of giving examples. Somewhere or the other, being a good listener will always help you to enhance your own skills. Now, assessment of GD. Whenever you are in a group discussions, there are few parameters on which you are assessed. As already discussed, one of the prominent parameter is your leadership skill. Leadership skills means your ability to take initiative. How good initiator you are. Some people they step back and have to initiate a GD, which is of course a negative side of it. So try to be a good initiator, try to show that you have some leadership skills, leadership capacities, capabilities in you. Moving on to communication skills, the major assessment criteria, of course. As it is a group discussion, you will be judged upon how easily, how nicely you communicate with people. So English vocabulary, English fluency and usage of word, correct sentence formation and grammar is of utmost importance. Interpersonal skills, interacting and managing people is very, very important. So interpersonal skills are very, very important and it's one of the assessment parameters of a group discussion. Try to interact with people, try to understand their thought process, be a little flexible also in terms of understanding people whenever they are expressing their ideas. Persuasion skills, ability to analyze and persuade people. Try to analyze what other people are saying. If not agreeing to your point somewhere or the other, try to be a little persuasive. Next comes are the do's and don'ts of GD. GD comes with a set of rules. The set of rules and regulations are always needed to be followed. So first begin with the do's. What should be done during the group discussion? Point number one, always take initiative. If you are taking initiative, you will be getting an extra edge over the others. So try to be the first one to speak out whenever a discussion starts. Next point, always stay with the topic. Never sway away. Sometimes what happens is people are speaking in a GD, they sway away from the topic. There are some ideas which are not relevant in terms of the topic and they keep on speaking those ideas. As a result, this are dragging themselves away from the topic. So somewhere or the other, one should have that presence of mind to stay with the topic. Next is, of course, think before you speak. Whatever you are speaking, be very, very confident about it. But of course, use your brains. So always think before what you are speaking. Next, take original points and support them with substantial reasoning. Try to take your own points, not copy others. Right? Talk about facts. Use factual points. If you have some examples to amplify your point, go ahead with it. Listen to other participants actively. See, I always say, since the starting I've been saying listening and speaking go hand in hand. So always listen to what other participants are speaking. Always don't be a speaker. Sometimes try to be a listener too. Be polite, never be aggressive. Group discussion is never about being aggressive. It is always about being polite and referring to your point or speaking up your point. So always be very, very polite. Regulate your voice tone modulation is very, very important. Modulation of voice is of utmost importance whenever you are in a group discussion. You should know where to emphasize, how to emphasize, and when to emphasize on different words. So tone of voice modulation is of utmost importance. Next is try to get your turn. Never jump into a discussion, never jump and do not try to make others not listen, right? So whenever it is your turn, try to speak up. Give chances to other people also to speak. Be aware of your connections, right? So be very, very aware whenever you are a part of a GD. Next is don'ts. Do's comes with don'ts. There are pros and cons of everything. So there are a set of don'ts, there are a set of rules which you need to follow when you are doing a GD. Things you should not do. Number one, argue. Never argue. So do not argue in a group discussion. Don't argue. Number two, don't be nervous or shy. It isolates you from a GD. Always be very, very confident. Do not be shy. Point number two, do not interrupt another participant. Try to be very, very calm. Let people speak their point. Only then you go with your own point. Right? Next is speak in favor. If you are speaking in favor, speak your points relevant. If you are speaking against, then again speak in relevance. Do not mismatch your points. Do not get confused. Sometimes you're speaking for, another time you're contradicting yourself. This is not the way a GD should be done. The next is don't change opinion. See, this is very controversial points when it comes to group discussions, but try not to change your opinions, because when you are repeatedly changing your opinions, somewhere or the other, what happens is you are able to contradict your own points and you don't realize it. Right? So don't change your opinion, stick to one side and talk about it. Don't make mockery, of course. Do not laugh at people. Sometimes people are not able to speak, or sometimes some funny arguments are there. So do not laugh at it. Be very, very professional and always use examples. Right? But while you are exemplifying your ideas, do not use personal examples, take factual examples. Next, important points in GD. Now, we will move on to the points which are very, very then every candidate who is participating in a group discussion should keep it in their mind. First one, be assertive. A assertive person is very direct. A person is very, very honest, right? And careful about not to hurt others' self-respect. So be very, very assertive. Whatever is there in your mind in terms of a particular point, go for it. Be patient. Try to be a very patient listener. If you want people to listen to you, similarly follow the same approach. Try to listen to people. Try to reciprocate. Next, use appropriate language. Words can make friends. Words can break someone's heart too. So try to use appropriate words in the context of whatever you are speaking. Be precise and authentic. Whenever you are speaking in a group discussion, try to be very, very precise. Do not exaggerate the topic. Do not give good long speeches. Try to be very, very precise. Just be concrete to the point. Criticism. Criticism is very, very important. If you are speaking for the statement, there will be people who are not agreeing to you as is that they are speaking somewhere or the other against the statement, right? So try to accept criticism. If someone disapproves of you, if someone has a different opinion as compared to you, it is perfectly alright because this is a group discussion. Everyone can have their side of opinion. So be okay with it. Try to persuade people. Do not try to impose your ideas on people. Be very, very cool and calm when it comes to criticism. Try to accept it. Do not be flimsy. Criticism is very, very flimsy. Same can be pointed out very, very politely. If you have to point out somebody else's mistake, be very, very polite. Right? Next is accept others' point of view. Accepting is very, very important. Flexibility is very, very important. Try to accept everybody's opinion. In a discussion, we are discussing. It's not a debate. It's not an argument. It's a mere discussion. People will speak for the statement. People can speak against the statement. So try to accept everything. Express your argument with few facts. If you have some facts in your mind, if you have some surveys in your mind, if you have some analytical reports, data in your mind, please share. It's very, very important in a group discussion, and of course, it will give you good marks. Express without hurting. See, criticism should always be done very, very politely. So always be very, very polite and do not hurt others whenever you are speaking your own point. Next are a few suggestions. These are some complementary pointers you should keep in your mind whenever you are in a jury. Don't bluff. If you do not have an information about something, do not try to bluff and make out your own statements. So be very, very sure of what you are speaking. Control your emotions. Anger is something which should be controlled. Group discussion is not about being aggressive. It is not about being angry. So try to control your emotions. Focus on the quality of the content rather than quantity. Quality is very, very important. Whatever you are speaking should be of good quality. You should be able to easily express, be able to share the information, exchange your ideas, right? That is very, very important. Don't go for long speeches, long idea representation, which is of course not required. So be concrete, be concise, be to the point. Get noticed, but for the right reasons, right? So make sure the panelists, they know you, but for the right reason, for your leadership skills, for your team building approach, right? For your confidence, for your speaking skills, for your fluency, for your ideas, but not for your negative behavior. Next is practice group discussions with friends and families. If you are a little shy or a little introvert when it comes to speaking publicly, try to communicate in English with people around you, maybe with your friends or your family. Any time of the day, you can talk to them and communicate and enhance your speaking skills. Remember, speech is a very powerful weapon, so use it in a right way. Next, these are the few references. You can go through these references and these links also in order to have more information about the group discussions. That's all from my side in terms of group discussions. Thank you so much. Have a great day.